that in order for young people to grow up and be fully engaged in the world through their work and through their life, they're going to need a broader set of skills than the traditional approach fosters.
Because, like I said, in the real world, nobody asks you questions that are the final exam questions. They expect you to be able to do something with the knowledge. All of those are part of alternative, if you would, approaches to education.
PBL의 이론적인 배경으로는 구성주의라는 것을 하고 있습니다. 어떤 교사가 어떤 일방적으로 이것을 배워라고 하는 것은 그 교사의 머리에서 나온 것입니다. 그런데 아무리 똑같은 걸 주더라도 우리 학생들마다 각각 이해 틀이 그 모양이, 특성이, 내용이 다르기 때문에 받아들이는 것이 다릅니다. 그래서 그 구성주의에서는 바로 그런 거죠. 각각이 갖고 있는 이해 틀이 다르기 때문에 똑같은 현상을 주더라도 다르게 이해한다.
And constructivism is one philosophy that we're exploring in more depth now, but it has been around for some time. We're learning a lot more about how we learn. And as we study the process of learning, we realize that interactive learning is very powerful and that students get excited when they're interacting and not sitting passively, listening, but actually doing things and constructing. So that's where how the term is relevant.
Som også skal tænke over, når man sidder foran en flok afrikanske børn i en flygtningelejr. Hvad snakker man på dem om?
And since in the 21st century, anything that can be done digitally, anything that can be automated will be, it's those people who are resourceful enough to be able to say, well, here's a new question. I've never run into it before, but here's what I already know. Here's what I can find out easily. Here's what I have to experiment and try different things. And that's, to me, the center of constructivism and why it's become a buzzword today.
There are three basic tenets to constructivism. One is that we learn through our experiences. We learn in the environment. Okay, and your environment could be different from my environment. We might learn the same thing. So it's important to understand how we come to learn. The second part would be that the purpose for learning is some kind of a puzzlement or some kind of a conflict that makes the learner want to go and try to figure out what is causing this or what the issues are. The third part is that the negotiation of meaning is done socially. So how you understand the world, how I understand the world might be different, but we can negotiate a shared meaning. So those are sort of the three parts of it.
Students, very often it assumes that students should be passive. They're a blank slate, and the teacher is presenting the knowledge to them. And students should sit in rows. If you go into a classroom, very often the teacher is lecturing, and the students are taking notes. That's a behavioralist. Students are rewarded. There are rewards for good behavior. So it's that reinforcement, the idea of reinforcement. Constructivism, on the other hand, assumes that knowledge is built, and that's why a learning philosophy is so important. Knowledge is built through interaction, through doing things, through comparing ideas.
I think if you read John Dewey, who was our greatest education philosopher, who did his work around 1900, all of his work is based on the idea of very hands-on kind of learning. So you might say it's kind of American in spirit. And then in the 1920s, when we had progressive education, which my children had many years later, again, you didn't need to have the phrase problem-based learning, project-based learning, because people were doing it. The name is maybe new, but the ideas are quite old.
구성주의는 우리 머릿속에서 과연 어떤 식으로 지식이 습득되고 형성되는가를 굉장히 관심을 갖게 됩니다. 그러다가 그것을 머릿속에만 머물게 있는 것이 아니라 이제 교육학이니까 과연 학교 현장에서는 이것을 어떻게 적용할까 하면서 나타나는 것이 이제 구성주의를 학교 현장에 적용하는 어떤 학습 방법으로 나오게 됩니다.
So with the adoption of the new Common Core state standards, it's the skills that we're requiring of our students have changed, and we're asking them now to be problem solvers and more in-depth thinkers and do more critical thinking.
I think there's a couple reasons. One is the Common Core standards that were adopted by the United States, or 40 of the states in the United States. They set out a set of standards that are deeper, fewer and deeper, and require students to be able to use critical thinking, make a claim, and communicate it. Project-based learning is a great way to do that.
그래서 구성주의 인식론에 입각한 교수 학습 방법론을 개발하다 보니까 나온 것이 프로젝트 베이스드 러닝인데요. 그것이 먼저 그러니까 구성주의가 나온 다음에 나왔다는 것이 아니라 이미 존재하고 있었어요. 그런데 그러니까 많은 사람들이 하고는 있었지만 그것이 중심되는 것은 아니었던 거죠. 그렇지만 타이밍이 구성주의가 나오고 구성주의에서 이런 얘기를 하다 보니까 이 방식이 있었는데 이거랑 맞춰보니까 너무나 그 구성주의 인식론하고 그 방법론이 너무 잘 매치가 되는 거죠.
often it is an authentic problem, a stream that is polluted outside the school, something like that that will really engage the students, and maybe parents will become a part of this project too. So it's organized in a way that puts children in the position of learning these skills that we want them to learn, to work collaboratively with each other, to identify the problem and then maybe the underlying problems, to think about what they need, what resources they will need to solve them, to go find some answers, maybe with experts in the area, or maybe on the internet, different ways of finding their access to resources. And then they have to start to put together the solution. And so that whole idea of synthesizing data and presenting it, I think, is very important for children to learn.
When we train teachers to use project-based learning, we are supporting them as they develop their own curricula. That means we don't give them a book and say, do everything in the book. We say, you are going to design the project yourself. So the powerful part for teachers is that they own the material. It's not a book, it's what they think of, and it's more powerful. It's a more powerful experience for the teachers because they design the teaching and learning experience for students.
When you start at this school, you get assigned a team, and then we work very team-based, teachers together, and it's how we work with our subjects. So if you get here, you learn how to do it, but it's also based on the way we work in the teacher training, solving problems during your training. So we have it with us from Teachers College.
Every year, each of our teachers presents, each of our teams of teachers. So, we have, you worked with the 5th grade team. So the 5th grade team, the 4th grade team, all of the teams will come and they will present at what's called a tuning protocol. And they take a project, one of their projects, and they present it in front of the whole staff. And we all sit together in a circle and they present their project. And then there's a time for us to ask questions and for some reflection. And it is such a powerful tool. It's a way that each of us can know what's going on in each other's classrooms, and it's also a way of sharing resources. And so that's a way that we work to refine our projects every year.
Yes, here from my team leader. Really have a team. They willing to answer my question when I have something like maybe I confused for the process. They can tell me how to do it. I think teamwork is very important.
But as with anything, you don't jump into it quickly. You spend time researching, you spend time studying, you do intervisitations, you do book studies, and then you start small, and starting small is begin to create the structures in the class.
So I would say, in whatever country you're talking about, needs to study what is the context, what are the main concerns, and what is the strength already. People actually don't want to change because they don't want to lose their strength, existing strength. And I can tell you most of the East Asian countries have the strength about, we are very serious about knowledge, we are very serious about examination, we are very serious about a teacher's role in the society. So the only way to do it is we try to we say learn from the strength of other system. So this is what I say is we also don't copy other people. We try to seeking our own way.
우리도 뭐 많은 제도 변화가 있었습니다. 뭐 입학사정관 제도 도입하고 뭐 창의 인성 교육, 또 현 정부는 또 자유학기제 수업도 있고요. 그래서 여러 가지 지금 제도 변화를 하고 있고 선생님들도 많은 노력을 하고 있거든요. 사실은 뭐 거꾸로 수업에서도 많은 반응들이 있었고 또 배움의 공동체도 그렇고 뭐 또 뭐 저 혁신학교 같은 경우도 있었고요. 그래서 여러 가지 노력들을 하다가 이제 그게 이제 하나의 좋은 모델로 이제 나와서 그게 이제 폭발하는 거거든요. 그래서 저는 결국 그 계기를 만드는 것이 PBL이라고 생각하고요. PBL에서 몇 학교가 성공하기 시작하면 그 다음부터 확산되는 그 속도는 어느 나라보다도 빠르고 아마 폭발적일 거라고 저는 예상하고 있습니다.